Look, I have concerns about this bill, and I think on behalf of the Australian people I'm going to make my concerns known. It may sound good, and we've got Family Law Court 1, we've got 2, and that was because the 2 courts were separated. We had the Family Law Court, which dealt with more important issues, international law, property settlements, and those cases that were not settled in the lower courts were brought to the upper court. The Family Court 2 basically is a lot of judges who deal with family law, plus also migration issues, and that's the Federal Circuit Court. The 2 courts were merged under the coalition government, which I fully supported, and I think it was a good move. My concerns about this is that the Australian people, to give these judges immunity on their decisions, that concerns me. How are they held to account? I was told they can actually appeal. People can appeal. Usually after they've gone through the family law courts, they're drained. They're actually, a lot of people can't take it anymore, fed up with the court system. They actually are desperate. They've probably sold their home. They've got nowhere to live. And their finances are rock bottom. They're at rock bottom themselves. And to see that a decision that's handed down by a judge who cannot then be held to account for their decision. A lot of these parents that are brought before the Family Law Court, and I've dealt with them over the years, and they're really so distraught because most of the time a lot of these parents don't even get to see their children. They've got no time with the children, and that's the decision of the courts. Why aren't they held to account? Well, you can say they can appeal, but like I said, they can't afford to. So who is going to hold them to account? These judges must be held to account, the same as what I believe, that bureaucrats should be held to account, politicians should be held to account on the decisions that are made that impact on the Australian people. And I think that just saying, oh no, let's treat them all the same, let's give them immunity so that the people can't have recourse to actually say, listen, what sentence you gave me, they say, oh well, you can actually appeal, you can write, and you say, well, the judge didn't read these papers or the judge didn't made the wrong decision. How are they going to prove that? How are you actually going to say to a judge, well, you didn't read it. It's his word against yours, that he read it. That's the decision he's made. How is a person going to hold a judge to an account if you appeal their sentence? It's not going to happen. We all know that. A lot of these judges are protected species. Same as bureaucrats, same as politicians. And I just think there has to be some accountability for the people of this nation. And when we see what happens to a lot of these families, the Labor government just passed, their family law bill, and which I've opposed as well. And I just kept saying is, where's the accountability there? And you talk about the rights of the child, and yet you forget to say about the rights of the parents to actually have that right to see their children. But it's like, oh well, it's just the rights of the child. Couldn't even answer the questions. No one can answer the questions in this place. You just go back to the same old hearsay, the rights of the child. Well, where's the rights of the Australian people to have that protection so that they can? And what I'm hearing also is that, some people, parents are actually fed up with the decisions, denied rights to see their children for years on end for no real reason whatsoever. And they've been blocked, or they can't afford to take it back to court to get some justice. And they are absolutely devastated. So where is their rights? You deny them their rights, but you actually want to protect the judges. You want to give them immunity from what? Immunity from the people being able to hold them to account. I don't get it. I don't understand. And this has been supported by both sides of Parliament. I don't know how the Greens or the crossbench feel about this, but I just don't feel it's right. People should have the opportunity to hold these judges to account. And then I've heard also, well, the judges will be in fear of handing down their decisions because there's not going to be immunity. So when I hear of a class action against some of these judges and the decisions that have been made, that they're going to actually have a class action against these judges, if you actually bring this in, they're not going to be able to have a class action against these judges and the decisions that they made. So you're shutting the Australian people down an opportunity to hold them accountable for the decisions that they have made. And this affects so many families, so many people out there. Sorry, I'd like this to actually go to committee. I would like to be able to ask the Minister some questions with regards to this. So I won't be supporting this to actually be shut down. I'd like it to go to committee so that I can ask some further questions of the Minister with regards to this bill.